You guys for being here. We appreciate it. We know this is a little unorthodox in a way, but thank you for just showing up at a random location in downtown Portland and trusting us. We appreciate it. If you've never been to a Songs and Stories show, we just like to tell stories. We'll play a bunch of songs. We want you guys to ask questions if you have them. Mostly nothing is off limits, so we'll take pretty much any question. But yeah, you know, we just have a good time. If you need to go to the bathroom, obviously there. If you need to go in and out, whatever you need to do, just make yourself comfortable. And let's have a good time for a couple hours. So we'll start with an old school emo jam. Ready? Almost.
Yeah, I think I'm good here.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Three sleepless nights. This isn't how it's supposed to be. But you're so good at taking your time to get back to me. And I will wait for you forever. If you would just ask me. And I thought that I could change you, but you changed me. But it doesn't feel right holding someone else's hand together on both lines, living at two opposite ends. It scares me to think that you could find takers other than me, and better than me. But your head, it's elsewhere, and I'm talking. Who knows this part? And not for both of us. When will you see? It's not so easy for me, but you're careless. And with your eyes, it's so interested. And I know your eyes that you said forever. These laces are untied, but my feet are walking away. They're walking away.
I never thought that you could say these words. Is this really happening? Let's hear those voices. I never thought that you could say these words. Is this really happening? I never thought that you could say these words. Is this really happening? I never thought that you could say these words. Is this really happening? I we're going to take some questions. So a lot of times, you guys are a little bashful. You don't want to ask a question. But we want you to ask questions. That's what we're here for, to hang out, ask questions, and we'll tell some stories.
I'll start out with a story. Today we were riding down the road to come here, and all I was thinking about was going to Top Golf. And we did. We got to go. But let's see. I don't forget how far we were down past Seattle. And Matt goes, "You got your passport, right? Because tomorrow we're going to Vancouver, Canada." And I was like, "I definitely don't have my passport." No one mentioned a passport, and I was like, I should have probably mentioned that to myself. I should have thought another country. So I was like, oh no, tomorrow's on the story show. I'm not going to be able to go. And then, and I pretended I was super upset because I knew I'd just get to stay in a hotel by myself and just really chill. I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. But no, I felt really bad and embarrassed, and I was like, I cannot believe I didn't. So my passport was in my car at home, and my friend got it, took it to FedEx, and it'll be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Isn't that crazy? Now it costs $10,000. $128. So yeah.
It's like buying
But
a plane
still,
ticket.
I mean,
It's like buying a plane. Your passport's sitting in an airplane seat
yeah.
with the buckle. They buckled it up. It's just your passport. Right?
Yeah,
Have you
They
seen
walk by and
Airfare
go,
lately? That was a seal.
they walk by and go, oh, you're gonna have to push your seat back up.
Straight to you.
Take off.
Well, it's getting here. You're
Anyway,
good to go.
Yeah.
That's good.
So as you get older, you forget things. So
It happens.
yeah,
It happens.
like your passport.
All right, ready, Matt?
I am.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Uncovered eyes, loose from lenses, absorbing light. Your hand is wrapped in mine. The sunset for the last time. Carpet stains from coffee cups, don't you stop from hurting so much. Paralyzed, I thought I'd fail. You somehow let you down, but you saved me from jail. We got to run for the first time. Joining voices sing together the same song.
Right. That song was supposed to be the very first song on our very first album, The Week's End, and we wrote that. I didn't even have the lyrics finished when we got to Eudora, Kansas to record that album. And I just knew I had to get this done, and I had to write the whole second part. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do it? And I was nervous, but I just thought the song felt like just such a good introduction song to Emery, and we just really believed in it. And when we gave it to the Nail, they were like, what are y'all talking about? This song Waltz, you got to put it first. What are y'all talking about? And we were like, I said, no, we're artists, and y'all are dumb. And it's funny because Waltz was just one of our songs. I mean, just like all of them. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't think anything really about it. I was shocked they even said that. I was like, they are so stupid. And they just kept telling us, because back then, you'd go into Hot Topic and put on the headphones, and they go, I can remember them saying that to us. Just see the kid going up there, putting the headphones, and the first thing they hear is, are you listening? They're going to buy that album. And I was like, well, whatever. I said, I guess we'll try. And then they were right. It was very,
They were correct about that.
Yeah, they were correct.
So who's got a question for us? Anybody? Yep, in the back.
I was thinking about past 20 years between this, the Meow Meow, the Loveland, Crystal Ballroom, Roseland, Hawthorne Theater.
Yeah.
You guys have specific memories about each venue or any venue in Portland or a favorite?
Yeah, we do.
Portland is like, there was something special about Portland for us because when we first came and we're trying in 2001 and 2 to get shows, the Seattle, it was too hip, there wasn't anything, the scene hadn't broken, and so we would go, our first show we ever played was in Vancouver, across the border here, at a place called the Scarlet Theater that was doing shows, and we knew the Meow Meow and that kind of thing, and we started to get shows in Tacoma, but we actually would have people that were our fans. The first fans we ever really had would just have been in Portland and the Vancouver area, because our very first shows and stuff like that. So all the Portland shows for us, for the whole time, have been really good. Like, we've always had good Portland shows, and other bands always say, oh, Portland's a skip market or whatever. It's like, but not for us. It's almost a local kind of market. So all the Portland venues have always been a big deal to us. But and even at the old Meow Meow before it moved into Loveland and all that. But do you remember that? Did you?
Yeah.
Anybody see? What's the earliest anybody in this room saw us in Portland? I'm curious. 2004. How about before?
Is that Meow Meow somewhere?
Meow Meow.
Probably.
Probably me.
We forgot. Yeah, I remember the Meow Meow. It was like there was no stage. It was like, a step, and there was one light bulb with a pull cord. That was the stage lighting.
It was great. It always has been really good, but I always thought that was good. And when it went to the other Meow Meow and Loveland, I mean, that was some of the best shows we've ever had. Were there probably 2005 and 6. I mean, for sure. So
Yeah, it was
always been special.
Yeah, and I mean, y'all had some great bands at the time. Remember Believing in June? Remember
That band? Yeah. Yeah, we would
Yeah.
come and play with these bands that never, like that band never got off the ground really, but was a great local band.
Such a good band. I thought they were going to be huge.
Played a lot with Anatomy of the Ghost back then.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good memories. Who else got a question? Good question.
So me and my wife, we were on the Emos Not Dead cruise, and that was like one of the most
Yeah.
fun places that we've ever spent our time.
Yeah.
What was like the best, most fun you guys have ever had, and where was your dad?
You must know that Girls was up there.
Yeah.
It was fun, but I'm trying to think.
The most fun on a show or a tour?
Yes.
Honestly, probably that first real Warped Tour we were on, just because there were so many bands that were like, I mean, it was, when we were on, I guess it was 2006.
5 was the first one we were on.
We did
all of 5.
We did 3 dates in 04. We did all of
5
5 and
all of
almost
6.
all of all 6.
Okay.
06, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty wild because 05, it was like, I mean,
It was
everybody.
Fall Out Boy, Hot Nights,
My Chemical Romance,
and they were all just about to blow up, but we were watching it and seeing it. Avenged Sevenfold. I said, who else was on there? I can remember standing.
Idol.
Was it that? I think it was that first one. I can remember standing in the lunch line, and there was these like teenagers behind me, and because we started late, like we were talking about that today. Like when we started Emery, we were already mid-20s, and there was these teenagers, and they were on what was the name of that Shearer Girl stage? It was like a bus that just the side of it came down, and it was just a stage in the thing, and they were just talking. They were like, they were standing right behind us and like, "Are you in Emery? You're like our favorite band. We love you so much." I was like, "Oh, cool, cool." And I just would turn back around and they go, "Can I ask you a question?" You know, they were just talking and I just wasn't in the mood and I just thought they were just being obnoxious or whatever. And then so I didn't really talk to them at all. And that was Paramore. I was like, I probably should have been a little nicer. That probably could have helped me a lot, just to be a little nicer that day instead of like trying to get my chicken and gravy, whatever it was. So yeah.
Warped Tour, it was an experience because we're an up and coming band and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But it wasn't fun. It was fun after you played every day.
Right.
It was fun after that. Before that, it was not fun because you had to wake up early.
Yeah,
you had to drag your
that's
gear
true.
and merch a mile from wherever the bus was. And it was kind of sucky all day until after you got done. Then you're like, okay, we can kind of chill now. Yeah. But other than that, it's very hard work. But the first time we went to Australia was really awesome. Like we played played with Story of the Year and Flogging Molly, and this was when Story of the Year was massive at the time.
Huge.
So we played to like 4,000, 5,000 people, and we got to like do some like touristy kind of stuff. It was our first time there. That was really awesome. The cruise was really awesome. This year we're playing Hawaii in a few weeks for Is for Lovers. So that's going to be really awesome. I'm taking my whole family, and Matt is, and so it's like at this point in our career we're just like, okay, where can we play this like a vacation? That's where we want to play.
Yeah, we're trying to become the Adam Sandlers of just go to the beach with our friends and play a show.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. That's actually what we're trying to do.
All right, we'll play another song and then we'll take some more questions. So, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Perfect fashion and your photographs depict you so differently. I always thought you would be some sort of match for me. So let's decide who can survive. Stomping feet, racing beats of hearts that don't ever slow. Then I'll write letters on white paper expressing my deep disappointment. Dripping where I stand from my watery hand. I'm hoping to get past the open bedroom door where her clothes on the floor remind me of our conversation. The feeling
noticed this or not, but Matt is actually playing his keyboard on top of 2 upside down trash cans. It's very cool. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
we don't typically take all the.
He's actually protesting recycling.
Upside down chair.
What's interesting about our band, one thing, is we don't really go places very prepared.
I forgot my keyboard stand,
He
but
didn't-
I did bring my passport.
So that's true. But we hardly ever bring the things that we need to play a show. And then we get there and we think, we could probably figure this out. And then we do.
Yeah.
And then we play shows. So who else has got a question? Yeah. Right here.
What's the weirdest pairing you've had in a live show, like genre or band?
Weirdest pairing that we've had in a show?
Reggae Fest.
Yeah. And what was that? Bakersfield or Fresno?
Fresno, California, in Fresno, not Bakersfield. We played Reggae Fest. Our tour package went. Our tour package is us and Oh Sleeper and some other. And we played at about 11:30 a.m. at Reggae Fest in Fresno. It was just one of our tour dates. So we made the most of that. I mean, it was like sometimes you get an opportunity like that where you know it's not going to be the best show. And so you feel this freedom, like, okay, it's gonna be fun no matter what. And I barely remember the performance, but it's like, this does not matter. We're gonna go have fun and goof around. Toby and Michael went out there and we were like moshing to reggae band. Just goofing off all day. We left early and drove down and just spent the day just goofing off and having fun. But that was a weird pairing that our tour package had to play right in the middle of that. I don't know how it happened either, but it's just.
That's funny. So yeah, we've had a few weird ones, but that was the weirdest. Who else had a question?
I saw somebody else. Maybe not.
Did she have one? No? Yeah, right here.
When you guys first started at Emery, did you guys plan on screaming having a role in your music? And then how has your journey with screaming kind of evolved as you've gotten older? And what role do you see it continue playing in your music?
So we were 2 different bands before we made Emery, and Toby sang in the one band, and our former friend Joey, and me and Matt. That's the best way of saying it. Former friend Joey, and me and Matt would play some with Toby, and we would just kind of play with him. We didn't really do much else. But his was a little bit more indie, early emo kind of style, and that wasn't very common in South Carolina. And then me and Matt and some of our high school buddies, we played like more radio rock, kind of not nu metal, but almost kind of nu metalish. And so we would both play in our college town, and nobody would come except a few friends, and we'd play some covers and originals, and then eventually. So we had a little bit of screaming before, like we would play, covers like "Killing in the Name" by Rage, and you play some songs back then like that. And Toby and them would do some screaming. It was a little bit more like in the moment, emotional, like almost like Pedro the Lion on the whole EP, his first album, where he screams a little bit. It's kind of like that. And so then when we made Emery, it was like, how can we incorporate really melodic music? Because we both like to sing, and I mean that's what we do. So, but then also kind of grasp that hardcore element too. Like bands like Hope's Fall and those bands, they were able to kind of early on, they were kind of able to do the singing and the screaming. It didn't feel too much one way or the other in a way. So that's what we really wanted to do, is kind of find that balance, early on. Nowadays, we feel a little differently about it. I mean,
At that time, it was a very unpopular thing to do.
Right.
Toby and Devin are good singers. They were in the choir. They would sing and play around college, and people would say, "Oh, this is so great." And then we put this band together, and then our friends or families, girlfriends would show up and be like, "They just could not understand why you did that screaming." And it was like, everything's good except that. Nobody likes that. But we thought it was really cool. We thought it was great. Then it took off, and now everybody likes it, but we don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we do it in obviously obviously full band shows and it's fun. The energy off the crowd, I mean, that's all a very, very cool thing, and we don't take that for granted. But this, we like just singing. We just like singing. It's nice. And you're not trying to overpower the distorted guitars and the drums and blowing your voice out every night, you know, doing all this stuff. That's fun in a different way, but also very, very tiring and taxing. Not just because we're older and physically different, but also just because you're like really trying. You just have to push yourself 110% every single night. So, and this feels a little bit more relaxed and easy and fun, and so, you know, it's just different. Was there one more you had? Yes, little Emery.
I like your song.
Thanks. All of them so far, or just okay? Thank you very much. All right, we're gonna play.
Is that a question, or were you like, I like your song?
All right. So, I don't mean to put anybody on the spot. Is anybody coming up to our In Shallow Seas We Sell show on Sunday? Oh, we got two.
Nice.
It's sold out, so apologies if you did not get your ticket. But we're going to be playing our album In Shallow Seas We Sail on and off this year. We did a digital video live version of that we're going to be putting out later this year as well. So
we'll be here on Monday if you want to just come back. The ping pong.
yeah, let's just get all that figured out real quick. But we're going to play a song off that album now that we haven't really played much acoustic. So, ready? What's the tempo? What tempo do we want?
Think of the verse.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Surgery, take care not to hurt me. Send the signal. Send the signal. Send the signal. Send the signal. There is a part of me that always sees the way we were. It doesn't hurt. It's not another word. If I'd only known beauty takes more than anything, but I can't stop what's inside of me. Send the signal. Send the signal. Send the signal. Send the signal. There is a part of me that always sees the way we were. It doesn't hurt. It's not another word. You keep the reasons all we're needing. It feels like we were down to hold on. Is there a chance, just a chance that you need me? Or are we better off thinking that in this dance the romance is a secret? But I'm not quite sure I believe it with my eyes, with my words. So we rise and fall. Catch me, I'm slipping through. So we rise and fall. Catch me, I'm slipping through. So we rise and fall. Catch me, I'm slipping through. your fingers.
No, I can see. I thought we were doing shows. It's okay.
Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, who else got a question? Anybody? Yeah, in the back.
You guys have been associated with like faith-based label, kind of, which is all state, those kind of things.
Yeah.
How has faith evolved with your music from when you started to now, like as you continue to progress with it?
Oh, you're not gonna. Oh, I got it.
Not looking at me. You can tell who they're looking at. It's looking at you.
It was looking right in the middle, and everybody knows it.
It's definitely changed. So when we started, we were all Christians, and we were like, man, we're doing this for Jesus, we're doing this for God, and this is, part of. We probably thought of it as a ministry in a sense. And then as soon as we started playing shows, we would talk about God from stage a little bit. It just became really evident that it felt really wrong. Like it felt like it was just it was separating the crowd in a way. Like you came to you were at Hot Topic and saw listened to this band you liked, and now you're paying to see their show, and now they're trying to proselytize you or something like that. And it just felt wrong to the art in a way. And then it also felt like sometimes the Christian folks would come up and that's all they would want. Like they didn't necessarily care about the music as much. And we decided early on that we had to do something a little different. Like it felt wrong. Like I mean, if God's real and as big as He is, or they are, whatever you want to, wherever you're at in your walk, then they can handle art and being enough too. That can be our words. We talked about it on our podcast years ago. Like there was a kid in the audience one time that was just going, "Say Jesus, say Jesus, say Jesus," and I was like, "Jesus." What do I got? And I was just like, "What? You don't?" That kid, and he was probably a nice kid, and I don't think he was a bad person. He probably was, felt so strongly about it. But at the same time, I was like, this is nothing about art or music, and that's where I started realizing more and more the church gets it wrong. Like you got to let people experience art and danger and get experience things that aren't safe, or else it's all going to be bad. It's going to turn really ugly and bad and not. It won't be good. It won't actually honor God then, because it'll be about selling more records or just being in the safety of a youth group event or something like that, as opposed to going to some place that's a little pushing your boundaries some. So and then just as we've gotten older, I think in some ways our faith has definitely changed. I mean, it just has. I mean, that would take years to unpack. But it's definitely changed a lot. So.
If your faith doesn't change, it feels like what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point in growing up and maturing and doing all those things? It seems like that's a normal part of faith.
We'll still be taking a love offering tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
did y'all do love offerings up here? Like in South Carolina, love offerings were big.
It was big in the South.
Yeah, and if it wasn't a big love offering, the pastors got a little mad. So
it is.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious as to when you guys refer with bands that aren't based with a religious background, how is that received as you guys are progressing with other bands that weren't?
We wanted to play with non-Christian bands. That was after our initial kind of understanding of the difference in like a club show versus a church show. It was like, well, we 100% wanted club shows only. Like we didn't ever want to do church shows again. Really, it was a very weird vibe. It was like youth events. Nobody cared about your band or music. It was just like they're there because their parents wanted a babysitter. That's fine, but that's not what we wanted to do. So we decided to go the clubs route, obviously, and we wanted to play with non-Christian bands all the time. Like we got tons of friends that are both, but I mean. After you begin to, tour with different kinds of bands, you understand everybody's just a person. there's a good person or not a good person. Some people believe in Jesus, some people don't. And it's not really, it's less segregated in that, once you get in the club scene, it's way less segregated than you think it is. It's like everybody's just there to play a show. And then it's fun. That's what makes it fun. When you're there, like you're kind of isolating yourself based on your beliefs, it's like, well, what are we doing? We're just all in this together trying to make a good show for everybody. So that's what we got. Hey, how many questions you got here, man? we got a limit on these questions. Yeah, one more.
The reason I asked is because when I first heard you guys, I was like, you guys rock. And then I was like, oh, they're Christians. And it was like, oh, okay, so I like a Christian band. That's kind of cool. I guess I'm very curious that someone was like, hey, I didn't know what you guys were. And I was like, all right, they rock out.
Yeah, we've definitely experienced that a few times. I mean, which is good with us.
It was hard for a while because it was, our band was, at that time, we really were a little bit different because for a lot of tours we were too heavy. Other tours we sang too much. And then a lot of tours were very worried we were going to be like preaching from stage. Like I can remember we got on a huge tour with Chiodas. But before that, they were like, they said, you cannot preach from stage. We're like, we don't preach from stage, don't worry. And it was fine. It was a good tour. It was great. We did great. But they were definitely, some bands were weirded out by that for sure. I just saw that, I can remember being on Warped Tour and we were doing Bible studies and Matt sent a picture of Fat Mike sitting there making fun of us while we're sitting there trying to do a Bible study. And it definitely set you apart in some ways. That's what I'm saying. It didn't seem very friendly sometimes in retrospect. At the time I thought I was doing some of the right things, but I think it wasn't very friendly or loving or caring as much as I thought it was at the time. So I'd rather be more open and friendly than that shut off these days.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, let's play a song.
Yeah. So one of the things that we found out too from touring for so long was just that, very early on, people would come up to us after shows and just go, man, your music got me through the darkest moment of my life where I was even contemplating suicide. And that was so surreal and strange and bizarre to hear because, I was just hoping they would buy a t-shirt. I was just like, and then to say that our music saved their life, I was like, but I wrote that song, Remember, I know us, it didn't, and the more we heard it, I just started thinking, man, it's just so crazy that the song that we wrote means this much, and if our little band is having this influence, I can't imagine how much music really does mean to people, and then meets them at their lowest, darkest point of their life. And so I wanted to capture that a song could just come on the radio and might save a life, like something so simple. And I had this idea of just like the little things in life that could keep you here, like seeing the West Coast, if you never saw the West Coast or something. And so I wrote this song, honestly, just based on our fans and people that would come up and say that, just that, because it means a lot to us that we are having some kind of positive influence on people, even at their darkest moment. So.
Yeah.
So is it courage or strength? And is that what I'm waiting for? If I could just kill myself, would it also kill the remorse? I wanted so badly to catch a break, but I'm only breaking down. I'm still here and standing, but if it's up to me, I don't think I'll be hanging around. The drink slips down my throat and the burn cures nice and slow. All the worst parts I wouldn't want you to see. The only parts left of me now. Here I am, just a kid without a better plan, but this? Was it a joke from the start? Was I supposed to laugh more at it? And everyone's quoting their teachers and preachers, but their words make me feel so alone. No one ever says that they've had those thoughts in the middle of the night. No one ever admits that they wanted to take their life. Drink slips down my throat and the burn cures nice and slow. All the worst parts I wouldn't want you to see. The only parts left of me now. Here I am, just a kid without a better plan. But it's the simple thoughts that haunt me the most. I never got to see the West Coast. But it's the life I dreamed I'd have, the love I would find in my grasp, the words I could share with someone. Those thoughts keep the breath in my lungs, and tomorrow my hope will become fulfilled by love that can't be undone. And save a wretch like me. So if the drink slips down your throat and the burn cures nice and slow, all the worst parts you wouldn't want me to see, the same parts I haven't been now, it scares me too. We are both this way, I feel just like you do. So when you're by yourself, you should know one day we gotta see the West Coast.
Thanks. Who else has got a question real quick? Just right in the middle right there.
Why did you choose Emery as your band name?
Toby?
Well, so I got my degree in elementary education and never used it, still paying for it. And there was a kid in my class named Emery, and I really liked the name. He's a super awesome kid, but and I was like, huh? And it was E-M-E-R-Y, not E-M-O-R-Y, college in Atlanta. And so I put that on the list, and we had a big list. We made a really big list of names, and we just decided to weed some out. You know, just get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of this one. I always make fun of Matt. He hates it, but he really loved the name Same Day Forever, which is like, I think, were you into Vertical Horizon or something?
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day, yeah. So it got all the way down to two names, and Emery was one of them, and it was closer than you could imagine. I'm not kidding. It was so close. And it was almost. You would be sitting here right now watching The Reginald. That's yeah. And, yeah.
So this little girl's name was almost the Reginald.
Yeah.
Very close.
Her name is Emery, but it was almost the Reginald. Yeah.
She said, I'm fine.
Yeah.
All right. Who else? Yeah. Right here.
Were there any songs or maybe albums that were particularly more challenging to write?
Songs or albums that were more challenging to write? I know one that you would say, probably song-wise. To write, well, maybe not to write, to perform. Right.
To write, well, doing Rub Some Dirt on it was really tough because we did it live all together, and we literally only played it once or twice.
But is writing sometimes hard? Like, what does that mean if writing is hard? I like that question about it. Says, I mean, I don't immediately have the answer for that. Because sometimes the stuff that comes easiest is the best. So stuff that's the hardest to write sometimes is the worst stuff in some sense. But do you think of it that way? Like writing a certain song is difficult emotionally maybe to write the song?
It could be.
Lyrically?
Sometimes lyrically.
Coming up with the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, pressure to like do so.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, well, I would say early on when you're writing music, you put more time into like perfecting the song, and I don't know if that's the best way to do it. And as we've gotten older, we spent way less time on writing a song now. Way less. Like, sometimes, I mean, if we get in a room together and we have one little spark of an idea that might be, like the hook or a verse part, within 45 minutes to an hour, we probably could have the whole song pretty easily. And then we'll just kind of finish the lyrics and stuff like that. But back in the day, we would spend hours and hours and day after day after day trying to get this part right or that part right. So the writing style and the way we write now is way different than it used to be.
Yeah, that must just be a skill thing. When we were writing The Week's End, we spent all of our time on that for a year. Like we would go. Now that you say that, I remember it. But Toby and we had. I was doing the arrangements, and I would go to a room with Joel and Seth, our drummer, and we would talk about every measure, every drum hit, whether it's the fill starts with your left hand to the right hand, and where you come. Like we would just do stuff like that for hours and hours. And Toby and Devin would go into another room, and they would talk about lyrics and harmonies for just hours, and we do that every night. So now that's coming back to me, but yeah, that's crazy. But I think the Week's End and our last one, Rub Some Dirt on It, are really similar records because they're both, for whatever reason, both seem very raw, recording-wise. But the process of making them was the most total. Rub Some Dirt on was by far the least time we ever spent on songs.
Yeah, by far.
And the Week's End is by far the most time we ever spent on songs.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest, I think, in that.
I think for our last album, Toby and I and Matt had a couple ideas, like musically, and we said, okay, well, we got, 8 to 10-ish ideas, and then we got together, I think on 2 separate occasions for maybe 2 or 3 days at most, and just kind of like, okay, what's this song going to be? What's it going to be? We worked on it, and then got it one more time, and then the third time was us recording the album. So the third time, and we didn't even know the lyrics. Some of them were finished, some of them had finished an hour before we were recording. So all the lyrics were on the wall in the video. Like we had to put all the lyrics on the wall because we didn't know them yet. So that was how like down to the wire it was. But that was exciting and it was really fun. And the way it came out was really like you could feel the energy, I think, in the album because of the way we felt about it at the time. It's like, oh my gosh, we got to get this right. We don't have any other chances. So that was a whole different way of doing it, And then we've had albums over the years where we take our time, one step at a time. You get in there, you record the guitar, you do this, and lyrics come in when they come. And so, but it's just it morphs over the years as you change and get older. We've been doing this for 20 plus years now, so it's a whole lot different than it used to be. All right.
One of the hardest songs we ever wrote was our original bass player, Joel, who's not in the band anymore, but we're still friends. One of my oldest friends. Joel and I became best friends like 10th grade. And me, Matt, and Devin are the primary songwriters. And it just works really well as this team. And we all are really focused. But Joel's like, I have a song I'd like to present. We're like, okay, awesome, let's check it out. And it was real bad. It was really bad. And because Joel is
he's like a blues guy.
He's a blues guitar. He's an amazing
really
blues guitar player, and he's still doing blues now to this day. And so that was tough because we didn't want to hurt his feelings, and also we didn't want to make him feel crushed for his creativity. But it was very hard because Emery, especially in the beginning, we were like, okay, we're really focused on what we are wanting to do and what it's going to sound like. And so we changed that whole song, and it did become Returning the Smile You Had from the Start. But it sounded nothing like that. And we kept pulling parts away with, what if we did this? And eventually it became a completely different song. But we spent a while changing that song to something completely different just so we could, get that in there.
It had this really long, just weird stuff, and I think the only thing that we kept from it was that part's like. I was like, that part's really cool.
Oh, I love that.
And then the rest of the song we built around that.
Would you ever play that original version like at a Halloween show or something?
I don't remember what it was, but it was like the whole thing
We
he was
tried to
playing, and
forget.
you were like, uh-oh. And you're like, okay, there's one thing there, maybe we can turn that into something.
Yeah.
And then build on that.
All right, let's play another one. I've got eyes in the back of my head, and I see where you're going with this. I'm not surprised. You take me for a fool. Maybe you're right. If I was wiser, I would not have let myself come here tonight. So just say never words. Here I am, watching the summer fade winter. And on my face, now wishing away slowly.
to?
What's that?
What are you tuned?
We
to?
tune a half step down, so the whole everything is just a half step down.
Has it always been Gibson, or you mix it up with other stuff?
With acoustics?
Yeah.
What did we used to have? So we got Ovation years ago.
Yeah. Ovation, Washburns, but we like Gibsons. Maybe. Yeah, over here.
Oh shit, I'm really sorry, man. Well, with the last question for you, the last song, have you had like any sort of inspiration for a song that was so profound that you had to write a song about it? What was the inspiration? What was the song? Or no?
So good that found. Not. I mean, I don't know. I don't think in the moment you don't think, oh my gosh, this is so. I'm so smart.
Right, like a band,
Right.
a song, or anything like that, or
Oh, like another band?
well, anything.
You're saying
Just talk more.
is some other, like you hear a song and it makes us have to write a song.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
Well,
Sorta.
I mean, the last question is what brought it up to me because it was like, okay, but the individual brought a song up and it was like, well, let's change everything and not do that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Has there been something that you've heard, you've seen, or whatever that just inspired you to write?
Yeah. Man.
Well, it's just coming to me because we were just talking about that song, but in that same song, I was just thinking about the parts of the song. My memories jogged on it, but I was at a karaoke and somebody sang "Papa Don't Preach" by Madonna.
Yeah.
And it's Papa Don't Preach. You know that way that beat, it goes Papa Don't Preach.
Yeah.
And I was like, and so when we were doing that song with Joel, that's the verse of that song. This guy's in,
Do.
do. That's Papa Don't Preach.
Yeah.
I just heard that karaoke week. I was like, that is so tight, you know. And so that stuff like that sticks with you. You're like, especially if it's something for a video game or some other thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like something that hits you is not like your music. Sometimes you go, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And then you find then when opportunity comes, you find a way to incorporate it. But sometimes it's like you hear a song by somebody and you think, we got to have one that feels like that. But then you run the risk of copying it too much.
Sure.
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah, but yeah, you get inspired all the time by music and stuff. The other day I was listening to Chris Stapleton, and I was like, part of me was like inspired to go write a song like instantly, but then right after that I was like, why am I even singing if a guy like Chris Stapleton is singing? Like it just felt like, what's the point? But no, I mean stuff like that all the time. You're just like, man, I just want to sit down and write a song right now. So that happens a lot. But sorry, was there another one?
Yeah, you good? We good.
Sing it. Here we go.
What are we doing?
Tennessee whiskey.
Oh, okay, here we go. The drop D.
We got it.
Used to spend my nights out in a bar. Liquor was the only love I'd ever known. I might forget the lyrics. What are the lyrics? But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom. Brought me back from being too far gone. Alright, let's hear you guys sing with me. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. I can't do the run. You
can do it. Come on.
You're as warm I stay strong. on. We got a few more questions, and we're gonna play a song. Yes.
Over here. Yep. Right here.
Oh, sorry.
So I want to piggyback off that same question from earlier. You spoke on for me, like resonating with me a lot. I was raised Catholic, exclusively. Came to various institutions, Italian, Catholic church, etc. Where were you at, like, I guess mentally, where were you at with your faith when that song came?
Well, okay. That's a very loaded question.
Bathroom time.
So I grew up very Pentecostal, very what I grew up with was all speaking in tongues. You weren't saved if you didn't show fruits of the Spirit, like speaking in tongues, anointed in oil. My pawpaw was the pastor of our church. I mean, it was everything. And then I ended up becoming a worship leader at 2 mega churches. One was Mars Hill, right up in Seattle. I was a worship leader of that church. It no longer exists. It's imploded. And so that song, I had when I was writing that song, I also lost my best friend who had done the podcast with us, who was also a pastor. And I just was so, I guess, still like, God might be real, but people will really mess it up for you, and it just try to make it something, make God or whatever is that other thing, and I still feel it sometimes, and I still experience like I probably maybe sometimes maybe even feel more spiritually aware or more have stronger or deeper belief than I used to, I'll stick at least with the American church. It just feels like it stole so much beauty from me, so much trust, and it became a business, and it was people who I think started out with good hearts and wanting to help people, but then it became something that I didn't recognize anymore. And it's been very hard. I haven't been to church in quite a while, and I never thought I would do that. And I still have that real like Christian Southern guilt of like I'm probably going to hell, but just for not going to church anymore. Like I feel scared sometimes about that. Like there's some real fear in me of like I might have screwed up and I'm headed to hell or something. And so that song, I just wanted to get it out that I just like I wanted God. Like I'm okay with God. I would like to know God more. But it felt like the God that I was hoping to find was very human and flawed and very small and not very strong or powerful or loving at all. So I was just in this headspace where, and especially even like losing my friend, our friendship, I should say, that it just really got me. It just really hurt.
Yeah. Thanks for bumming us out.
Yeah.
No, but like I get it.
But I get it.
Right there.
What album or song emotionally are each of you most attached to and why?
Album or song? That's a good question.
I mean, right, on the album after that, the song Enemy, that one, I do a screaming part on it, and it feels like, I know what that song is, and Toby wrote it, and I feel attached to that when I do that.
Yeah, I can get that. I mean, I feel attached to the album Rub Some Dirt on It because it's newer and it's fresher, and it's a little bit, there's something about the album that feels a little bit more raw all the way around. And the last track on the album, too, is called Stranger, and it's about, I got sexually whatever. It's not, I didn't get, I don't know what you call it. I wasn't molested, I was, what's a step back?
It was in the territory of grooming.
Yeah, I mean, it was like my youth leader when I was.
It was an attempt.
It was an attempt to do that to me, and I was able to stop it at some point. But it was very scary and very, like, I trusted this guy for a very long time, a couple of years, and then he moves in that direction, and I was like, what the hell's happening? Like, I thought this was what it was, you know what I mean? Like, and so that song to me was, it's still kind of, I don't feel like a victim or anything like that at all, really, honestly. But that song, when I hear the song, when I think about the song, I'm like, oh yeah, that happened.
That actually happened.
So that's kind of tied to me right now a little bit. So. All right, we'll take some more questions, I promise, but we're gonna play another song so people don't get really bored.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna play. Is it me? I start this one. I'll do a little out of tune. Sorry.
Well, I know you like the party, but the party never stops.
I know you like the party, but the party never stops.
Well, I know you.
I know you.
I know you. I know you wanna be here, so you just let go. No one's ever gonna tell you no. Well, I want to, 'cause I know you. I know you. Put your body on.
Party on.
Put your body on.
Party on.
This is my last advice. Leave with me, 'cause you could die tonight.
I got this. I got this. I got this. So go ahead.
The drugs you use as a place to hide is really bad if you don't get this right.
I got this. I got this. I got this. I don't need you.
You got kicked out of your mother's house. You stole money from her purse. She finally tossed you out.
You should be ashamed.
Don't sit there judging me. You'd be the same if you could see. So let's have another drink, and we'll party on.
Party on.
Get your body on.
Party on.
This is my last advice. Leave with me, 'cause you could die tonight.
I got this. I got this. I got this. So go ahead.
Drugs you use as a place to hide is really bad if you don't get this right.
I got this. I got this. I got this. I don't need you.
February, silly, scary, the month your father died. A little girl in a shrinking world, looking for her place to run and hide. Well, I know you like the party, but the party never
I
stops.
know you like the party, but the party never stops.
Well, I know you.
I know you.
I know you, but you party on.
Party on.
Get your body on.
Party on.
Come on, one last time, 'cause this is all you got. This is my last advice. Leave with me, 'cause you could die
I
tonight.
got this. I got this. I got this. So go ahead.
The drugs you use as a place to hide is really bad if you don't get this right.
I got this. I got this. I got this. I don't need you.
Devin's tuning in. Who's got another question? Do you have one? Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you, the Reginald.
You're a good. You say you're a good singer. Let's
Your
hear.
favorite
Can we hear
song to
something?
sing?
What you can sing?
I'm gonna sing the oceans. In Neverland, there's a tea. There's a sad part too.
Oh, I like sad parts. I like sad parts.
Yeah.
In Neverland, there's a tea where girls are so pretty. I set my eyes on. Well,
That's
I wanted
great.
to tell you that the last part of the song is a sad part.
Oh, okay.
Neverland, there's a tea where girls are so pretty. I set my eyes on sweet moon.
That was awesome. That took some guts. That was very good.
Really good.
That was funny. All right, who? Yeah, right there.
Over here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll go here and then there. Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Matt, you've said in the past that you believe that, I think it's Love Shack by the B-52s is the finest rock song you've ever to elucidate everyone else's life.
I mean, I'm not sure if I can make the argument other than just when it, like, when it happens, I'm always with it. When that song happens, I'm there. You know, it starts with that drum beat, and then it's a party the whole time, and they do so many unconventional things, and it's so original, and it feels good, and it just, I mean, I think it's just, I love the B-52s, but I just don't think you can argue with that song when it happens.
All right. Did you have a question? Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I was wondering, what is a particular song name that you are really proud of and maybe have a fun story behind?
Song name?
Song name. Maybe a couple, I don't know.
I got a two. Some people probably have heard this before, but so that song we played earlier, "Churches and Serial Killers." I was working on that song, and I didn't have a title for it, and we were in Australia. We were on the bus, and it was us and Under Oath, and I don't know who else. Maybe might have been Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. I can't remember. Anyway, we were sitting on the bus, and there was this really cool, like probably stoned out of his mind bus driver. He had super long hair. He's working for the festival. We were playing, what's the name of that festival? Soundwave.
Yeah.
And I'll do a very bad Australian impression. But he was like, I was like, we were in Adelaide, and he was like, he was driving us around. I was like, man, this town is so cool. He's like, no, mate, nothing here but churches and serial killers. That makes a lot of sense. I think those two things probably go together more than we even know. And then the other part of the Australian stories, when we first went over there, was Story of the Year. I just thought, my band is so huge, and everything I ever thought, like, just I was shooting birds from Australia. Anybody that talked bad about our band and told us not, even my family, like, y'all don't know. Look, I'm in Australia because of this music we wrote. And we played in Melbourne. And it was a massive show. And after the show, they said, we're doing a big party at this club. Y'all should come. We go to the party. I'm in Melbourne. When we walk into the club, Walls is playing. And I'm like, I just can't believe it. It's playing through the speakers. And I was like, I am a humongous rock star. I am international now. What's next? I just thought, it's unbelievable. And we had drink tickets or whatever, and I got my drink ticket, and I got separated from the guys or whatever for a minute. But I'm sitting there and ordered my drink, and this teenager Australian guy looked kind of what was Steve Irwin, the Crocodile
Hunter?
Crocodile Hunter. Kind of like him, but with red hair and huge teeth. Now, once again, I'll do a bad accent, but he goes, Toby, mate, the show was unbelievable. I know. My ego's just going through the roof, and he goes, I want to tell you, you're my third favorite singer in the world. I said, third? I was a little bit disappointed. I was like, but still third. I'm in Australia. I'm the third favorite singer. I should have walked away. I said, well, who's two? He goes, Freddie Mercury. And I was like, I said, that's my favorite singer. That's amazing. I said, that's so awesome. And I said, well, I got to know. Who's number one? He goes, Devin Shelton.
I already apologized.
I was like, I think I said something like, that's just mean, and I walked away. So, yeah.
That's funny. All right, one more, and then we'll play a song. Yep.
Emery and the Terrible Secret. Who wrote it? Where the inspiration
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emery was written well before it was my band with Joey from our podcast. Our band was called Joe 747, and that was like the first song I think I had really wrote for that. And yeah, so it's just an old one, and it was just fun. We just really liked it. And then Terrible Secret is extremely hard. It's way too high for my vocal range. I'm a baritone at best, and I just wrote this super high song. It was so hard when we did the Question tour, like singing that song every night. Because it's just the same high notes over and over and over, and I wrote those.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna play a song that we didn't write.
Oh yeah.
We released this a couple months ago now, at least. It's called Everlong. Ready?
Stop.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is the only one I think that we're playing off our newest album called Rub Some Dirt on It. It's called I Don't Know You at All. my mind, but still my heart is pumping. Can't break free from this now. Nowhere to escape. I wish I could leave it all behind. Cover my head to drown out all the screaming. Pull back the sheets to cover up my feelings. Am I only dreaming to think I could believe in you? But I don't know you at all. And I don't know you at all. And I don't know you at all. And I don't know you at all. The stench of shame on his breath, and every word he said feels dead. You try to turn and walk away, and feel his hand across your face. You ever leave or take these kids? You said you wish you never did. Don't cry, don't say you'll run away. I guess you'll live with the pain. How far can you let this go? And how many scars can you not show? Cover up his lies and take the fall. But I don't know you at all. I don't know you at all. I don't know you at all. We've all got demons hiding deep down inside our minds, but there's no time to reconcile the truth and the lies. Thank you very much. I have to go to the potty.
Oh, yeah? Woo! We'll be taking some questions.
Have you had to play with your keyboard on the floor yet?
Not on the floor. Yep, right here.
So maybe like individually or collectively, are there songs that y'all really like performing, whether it be because of like the meaning behind the song or just like how hype the crowd is, especially when you're like with a full band?
Yeah, I think the farther along I get, the more I realize the thing that matters the most is the thing that is the whole thing. So you think of like, it's weird because there's some songs that work in a room with people, and no matter what, you can't argue with that. It's like you start playing a song and you feel people go, oh yes, this is correct. And that's more than a song you would like or that you think is best. And sometimes it's different than songs that people listen to the most on a record. They're just songs that work with the whole thing. So like when you're playing a show and you think I'm playing these notes and this is what's important, or I'm up here and people are looking at me, that's more of an immature thing. And then the thing that you really realize is like, oh, it doesn't matter what I do if the whole room is doing the same thing together on the same wavelength. And some songs just do that. So over time, you learn what those songs are, what the moments in those songs, and it just comes down to even moments in songs where, oh yeah, this is a part where you start to notice like, oh, everybody's gonna like this part when it happens. And sometimes you're surprised about that, or maybe you did something wrong. But really, it's just trying to find that thing where everybody's agreeing. If everybody's head is nodding at the same exact way, then that's the right answer, no matter what.
Yeah, 100%. Yep, right there.
I'm going off the memory bank. It's been 15 years, but what was the situation in regards to the song titles with the questions? Like, where were you when I was in front of Mercury, and where were you when I was so cold? What was the idea behind that?
Do we remember? No, I think we were just trying to, a little bit, be clever, but we just thought it was kind of a question. Each song was a bit of a question to God or Christians. Like, where were you when I was listening to Freddie Mercury? Like, people, didn't like it that he was gay, in the South or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, he was dangerous or something. So each of those questions, where were you when I was a terrible secret? It was a little bit of a stretch, but it's like the secrets that you hide, you can't tell everybody. So each one of those was kind of like a, where were you, God, when I was going through this kind of a question.
And then I guess what was the idea behind kind of cutting out the first part of the question to each song? I mean, because if you go to my Spotify now, like, full song titles not on there.
Oh yeah, well you mean, why didn't we put where were you when, oh, just, because it would just be a lot. Yeah. It'd be long. It'd just be super long. Yeah. Yep, right here.
Where are you at now in your faith?
Why do you want to know?
I'm just curious.
Oh, okay. I still believe in God. I won't speak for them, but I know Devin does. I don't know what those go over here. But it's just changed. Like the church I grew up in and Devin grew up in especially, Matt's was a little more liberally minded, I guess, probably in South Carolina in the 80s, which is kind of wild when you think about it. But our church is super just about rules. I mean, the church I grew up in, women weren't allowed to cut their hair, wear jeans. My parents didn't have jewelry. Jewelry was evil. It was just all we couldn't go see movies. Movies were evil. Everything was evil, basically. And except for like super fried foods were totally fine. They never said one thing to me about that, and I was like, I kind of feel I'm a little angry about that. But
What's
yeah.
that?
Do you understand that there's something different now that you're an adult?
Yeah.
Beyond that?
Yeah, I mean all that, you grow beyond to the point where, at least we did, where you understand that those are all just fears. They're not, they make rules because they're afraid of that they're gonna screw up what they're supposed to be doing, like they're gonna go to hell. Everybody's just afraid that they're gonna go to hell. Instead of just living like you want to be, loving like God is. So everybody's just afraid of everything instead of trying to live fully in love. That's the difference. So we grew up in fear, not really in love as much. It was just very, very different philosophies. And so, yes, now we've obviously come a long way in our faith, and we believe in God, but we are very uncertain, and we like to be very clear about, like, we're not trying to say that we know. We're just saying this is what we believe. We don't know anything. And if you say you do know, you're not really telling the truth. So.
Yeah. Anybody that tells you that they know anything about stocks, God, what's going to happen with the American financial system, and do not believe them. They do not know what they're talking about. No one knows, and
you just got to figure it out on your own.
It's way better if God's a mystery. I think that's maybe part of it. Like, I used to really struggle with that God's a mystery. Why can't He just show Himself to me? Why can't you just show me that you're there? Like, why would you be invisible? Like, my daughter, one of the last times I went to church, my daughter got out of Sunday school, and on the way home, it was kind of nice because we had a really good conversation. But I mean, at that time, she was only, I'd say 8 years old, and she was like, "Yeah, Sunday school, they started telling us that Jesus was the only way, and that if we didn't believe in him, that something potentially bad could happen. They didn't totally tell the kids hell or scare them, and I was like, I said, well, what do you? And she's like, I'm a little scared. I said, you don't have to be scared. I said, what do you think about it? And she said, it's really hard to believe in God because he's invisible. And I was like, what a very smart, good take. Like, it is hard to believe in God. It should be, maybe. That's where I'm at now. It should be hard to believe in God, and it should be a mystery, because if it was all explained, we couldn't even understand it, or we'd maybe be worse anyway. So I think now the mystery, I appreciate that more than I used to.
Hold on,
Oh,
sorry. She's had her hand up for a
there
really
we go.
long time, so I'm sorry. Yeah.
I was just curious, what is your guys' favorite memory together? And that can be either like as a band or as friends. What would you say is your favorite, like, just time together that you've had?
Top Golf today was pretty
Why would
It's
that
actually
be?
pretty good. I don't know, best memory.
We have a lot. I mean, man.
Honestly, probably let's just keep it just as a band. It probably was maybe like that, one of those first shows, maybe the second show of the first Tooth and Nail tour, where we played this show in St. Petersburg, Florida. I think it was St. Petersburg was the second show. I'm just remembering St. Petersburg. Maybe Orlando was second, one of them was second, third. But we made like $1,000 of merch, and I was like, what is happening? And the people were even, some of them were singing some of the words to our songs, and I was like, what is happening right now? Our band, and everybody felt it, and we just thought, oh my gosh, we can like maybe pay our bills with this, or you know what I mean? Like, you'd done something for so long, and now all of a sudden it was paying off, because we were the opening band, right? We were the opening band on that thing, and we were doing great in merch, and people were liking us, and the music was starting to hit, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And collectively, we'd worked so hard for years to get there, and then to be there, it just felt so great. Like, we really did that together. Like, that was just these group of guys. Like, we literally did this together, and I think that's probably one of the best memories, honestly.
There's a whole lot.
No, let's play another song.
All right, we'll play one more and then we'll get you. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Every once in a while, I think I'm lying. Take it to the bank, I'll believe every word I say.
This isn't how.
Then again, this is when you start your crying.
This just isn't how.
But there's a thought, this could be true, but this just isn't how I imagined it would be, with these random people just asking the most personal things, and to think that somehow I could always complain, and you shake your head just like you know what I mean. Da 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 da. Glance at her too long tonight. Everything I'm saying's right. We are all the sisters and the brothers. Until we find we don't believe the same. Like Gary's getting drawn to the phone with Sarah. Sarah stealing money from her parents. Aaron's lying straight to John about Megan and the things that went on. Jessica's a gossip, Laura's a son. Derek is
few more songs.
You okay?
I think so. I'm coughing. Got a little choked up.
Choked up on that. Sorry, I was singing really good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, so we're gonna play this song. I wrote this song about my mom, who passed away almost 7 years ago.